So good morning, class 9th student, all the three ABC sections. So during this lockdown period, we are trying to convey the explanations of the chapter properly. So you are requested to take it seriously and consider or understand it properly. Later on, whatever the doubts will be, you can ask during the class also. Okay, so today first chapter of history, French Revolution, already we have completed. Today we are starting the second part of our social science, that is geography. First chapter of geography. So if I talk about the geography, you can see here total 6 chapters are there. Okay, first is India's size and location, second is the physical features, third is the drainage, and fourth is climate, natural vegetation and wildlife, and last one is the population. Okay, here we are first starting our first one chapter is about the India's size and location. Here we will talk about this India's size and location. So in this chapter we are going to talk about the prominent condition, centralmost or the strategic condition of strategic location of our country India, and advantages of it, or exactly latitudinal and longitudinal extent of our country India, and some other main points relating to the Indian Standard Time, fixing of the Indian Standard Time, etc. Okay, so I have prepared these flowcharts for the better understanding. I will try or I will post it through the video. I am going to explain, and later on I will post the pictures also. It will be easier, so you have to do this work in your geography copy also. Last also informed to you that you can use your last year copies. So whatever the copy you used last year in the last class as a geography copy, you can use the same copy for the class 9th. Staple the last pages, continue for the other remaining pages for the new class. Okay, so by mentioning first page with the syllabus, then with the next one page you can start your chapter. So this flow chart you have to draw in your copy also, and this map also with the proper information. Also you will trace map, you will trace firstly, or you can use the scale also, then fill it also. And I have prepared or given this one also for the better understanding. So you do this in your fair copy also, it will be better to learn and understand also. Okay, so here we are starting this. See, the first chapter, India's size and location. So when we talk about the India's size and location, of course you learn in the earlier classes. This chapter is not new for you basically. You have learned this chapter last year also in the last class. In class 6th also you learn it about India's size and location. In 7th also you learn. Here again we are starting this geography with the our country India, its size and location. And the whole geography is about the Indian geography. Geography book of our class 9th is very relevant to the geography of our country India, or the geography of relating to the sometime you can consider in some of the cases in world also. So here we are starting with the size and location. So to understand it properly, a world map is given you. I am showing you a flow chart I prepared. So you can see this flow chart. In this flow chart you make the same in your fair copy also. So regarding to the flow chart, if we talk about the location of the size of our country, you have to learn all these main points. Okay, if we talk about the latitudinal or longitudinal extent of our country India, then this latitudinal or longitudinal extent, latitude it's from 8 degree 4 minute north to 37 degree 6 minute north, or longitudinal it's extended 68 degree 7 minute east to 97 degree 2 minute east, right? And the southern part of our country, it's with the total coastal coastline. The total coastline is 7516.6 kilometer. And some other main points is about the size of our country India. It's 7th largest and 2nd most populous country, given in the book also. It's entirely in the northern hemisphere. Land frontier, When we talk, it's about 15,200 kilometer. Similarly, earlier it was the Indira point was the last land landmass, southernmost point of the Indian landmass. But in the 2004 tsunami, it was submerged completely. And now we are counting Kanyakumari is the southernmost part of Indian mainland. Or east to west extent of our country India is 2,900 kilometer. Total area we count is 3.28 million square kilometers. And north to south extent is 3,200 kilometer. Fine. So this is some main point is about the India's size and location. You learn it. This is in a very short form given to you for the better learning. So same thing we are talking about through the map also. I am showing you the map. So sorry, I don't have the better option of a fixing camera using it or making this video with my cell phone, so you may have some problem to see the clear view. So if I talk about the map of our country India, you can see here the map of the country. So whatever we discussed in the last one picture, same thing I have written here. Okay, so when we talk is about the latitude, first do you know is about the what is latitude and longitude? Wait, it's okay, I'm telling you. Already this thing you have learned in your class 6. You remember? If forget, again I am revising it. I'm telling you, and you just recall and learn it properly again for the better understanding. Okay, it's required to know about the proper zones or the division or the important latitudes of our country to know about the exact location of any country. So when we talk about the latitude, so these horizontal lines are known as a latitude, right? These lines on the globe, these are the imaginary lines. Exactly on the earth we are not having such type of particular line format, but for the better understanding to locate the any region or the country, and there is a format of these imaginary line of the latitude and longitude for the better understanding, for the clarification of the exact region of a particular country even. So these are horizontal line is latitude, and these vertical lines are known as longitude. Is it clear to you? The horizontal lines are latitude and the vertical lines are longitude. Is it okay? So don't be confused, be very careful about it. And now when we talk about, again telling you, is about the division or the main important latitude of our country, which is dividing the earth, that also we count. Here basically we count the these lines, 5 to 6 lines, are the main important latitudinal lines. So first of all we talk about the centermost 0 degree line. So this one centermost 0 degree line, which is known as equator. So this 0 degree line simply divide the overall earth into 2 hemispheres. Above this 0 degree is northern hemisphere, and just below of this 0 degree is southern hemisphere. Okay, southern pole, northern hemisphere, or you can say the southern hemisphere. So this is the 0 degree line equator, which divide the whole earth into 2 equal parts, northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere. Then second line I drawn here, I have you can see here, that is 23.5 degree north. This is Tropic of Cancer. Okay, the value of the naming of the second important latitude is Tropic of Cancer, and what the value of this Tropic of Cancer, this latitude is having the value of 23.5 degree north, Tropic of Cancer. And after that we are counting the next another important latitudinal line. This is the 66.5 degree north and known as the Arctic Circle. Okay, similarly the same degrees are dividing the southern part, 23.5 degrees south. Now it's the southern part, here there we are talking about northern part, here the southern part. So 23.5 degrees south, that is Tropic of Capricorn, and 66.5 degrees south, that is the Antarctic Circle. And I have written here the division or the different zones also. So the area between 23° north and 23° south, this centermost green colored area is the torrid zone. It's known the heat belt also. Sometimes we know it as a tropical zone, equatorial zone also. So this area received the highest amount of heat. Okay, and this also because of the bulges or the shape of the earth. You learned earlier also the earth is actually not a perfect circle. It is just like an orange. You have seen an orange that is bulges from its center part, and from the pole it's a little flattened. So earth is having the same particular type of structure, similar for an example, that's similar to the orange. It is also having same geoid shape. So that geoid shape, which is geoid means which is bulges, a little bulges from its center part. Okay, bulges from the center parts and flatten from the north and the south. From the pole areas, it is comparatively a flattened area, not exactly the circle. So on this way, it is divided, and it is also you have learned that tilted on its axis 23.5. So here we are dividing or learning it. The centermost is a equatorial zone, torrid zone, it's a heat belt. Then after the temperate zone. In the northern part, north temperate zone, and in the southern part, south temperate zone. And after that 66.5 degree, it is dividing it as the frizzed zone. One is in the northern pole and here in a southern pole, because last in your earlier classes also you have learned that in that rotation process or the revolution process, rotation is caused day and night and revolution is what seasons changing. So in that revolution position, that a particular 5-6 month, once the northern pole is completely in front of the sun, so it's experiencing a 24 hours sunlight, no night condition. And similarly at the same time, opposite southern pole experiencing the continuous night condition. And then when it's position revise, and northern pole is away from the sun, so there is a continuous night. So for the 5-6 months, these are in a frizzed condition. So in this way, that complete globe is divided into these different divided by these important latitudes under the different zones. So basically we are counting these major zones. Number 1 is a torrid zone, second is a north temperate zone and the south temperate zone, and third is a frizzed zone. Okay, and same name is given there and the same value you are having, but northern side, so northern, and southern side it is naming with the southern part. Okay, now if I talk about the country India, what is the location of our country India in such a globe condition? I don't have globe at my home, so I drawn such a circle form, and I'm trying to make you understand betterly. Okay, so in this way, if I talk is about the globe, this is the equator which is dividing the earth into two equal parts, northern hemisphere and there is southern hemisphere. Okay, here the northern hemisphere, and we are talking about the southern hemisphere, or you can say the northern pole and southern pole. So equator is dividing it into two equal parts. Then there is a 23.5 degree north, which you learn is Tropic of Cancer. So this Tropic of Cancer lies just after this 0 degree, and above the 23.5 degree latitude is given the name of a Tropic of Cancer. And India is also lies completely over the above the equator. Fine, or you can say completely India lies completely in the northern hemisphere. So in which hemisphere India lies? It is completely in the northern hemisphere as well as in the eastern. Now if we talk is about this is clearing to you, it is completely in the northern hemisphere, right? Northern hemisphere. At the same time, if we divide it through the prime meridian, so centermost prime meridian, so there is west and east. Okay, western part or the eastern part. So you can see that in which direction India is. It is completely in the eastern hemisphere. Northern hemisphere, southern hemisphere, western hemisphere, eastern hemisphere. So India is completely lies in the northeastern hemisphere. This is the location of our country India. Is it okay to you? That here first the latitude, horizontal lines are known as latitude and the vertical lines are known as longitude. Then I shown to you the division of the earth as the different latitude, and then after I shown to you the exactly location of our country, that on the Tropic of Cancer, completely in the northern hemisphere or northeastern hemisphere. Okay, so one more thing you have to remember, that the very important latitude which divide the earth into two equal parts, that is equator, and an important latitude which divide the country India into two equal parts, that is Tropic of Cancer. So that Tropic of Cancer crosses just in the center of our country India. Here is a Gujarat. So it is crossing the Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, Odisha, then going to forward. So it's the centermost point through the Gujarat. It's a centermost point. So this Tropic of Cancer is crossing just center of our country India. So this Tropic of Cancer is also dividing to our country India into two equal zone, northern India and southern India. Okay, this thing is clear to you. So again, I'm coming back to this one map. So on this page I prepared this map. So you can see this map is about the location of our country India. So when we talk now it's clear to you about the latitude and longitude. So latitude is a horizontal line. Okay, so the southernmost point of our country mainland is Kanyakumari here. So that is starting from the southernmost latitude is 8 degree 4th minute north, and the northernmost point it is extending, यहाँ से लेके यहाँ तक ये extend है. So the northernmost point is 37 degree 6 minute north. Now one more question I think that of course surely hit or strike in your mind, that why ma'am that there is written that the north and north, this is the southern part of India, this is the northern part of India, but surely this question is striking in your mind, that why we are talking that the 8 degree 4 minute north to the 37 degree 6 minute north. Yes, can you tell me? So main thing is that because again showing to this one picture, because India is completely lies in the northern hemisphere. Understand why we are putting the thing, or we have written that latitude in the with the northern direction. So 8 degree 4 minute north to 37 degree 6 minute north, both point we are putting north, because India is completely lies in the northern hemisphere. Okay, so similarly longitude wise also we are writing it is starting from the Gujarat, the westernmost point of the Gujarat is 68 degree 7 minute east to the last point of the last tip of the country Arunachal Pradesh, that the 97 degree 25 minute east. Okay, similarly here also we are putting the east and east, because India is completely in the eastern hemisphere. It is completely in the northeastern hemisphere. So here we are putting N and N, and here is also east to east. Okay, so its latitudinal extent is from 8 degree to 4 minute north to 37 degree 6 minute north, and its latitudinal extent and the longitudinal extent is 68 degree 7 minute east to going to 97 degree 25 minute east. Is it clear? Then after, just a second, sorry to interruption, it's better. After that you can see when we talk about the extent, east to west and north to south extent, I have written here that you can see north to south extent. When we are talking, हम जब बता रहे हैं ना north to south उसका extent कितना है, so north to south extent from this Kanyakumari to the Jammu Kashmir. What is the southernmost point of country? Kanyakumari. What is the northernmost point of the country? Jammu and Kashmir. So from here to here the total distance is 3214 kilometer, right? And similarly west to east extent of the country is, what is the total extent? That east to west extent from the last westernmost point is Gujarat and easternmost point is Arunachal Pradesh. So the total distance between the Gujarat and the last point of the Arunachal Pradesh is 2933 kilometers. Okay, so this is the north to south and east to west extent. Then the important thing is that the India is having a longest coastline on Indian Ocean. And this map, as you are very familiar with the map of our country continuously in the practice from your class 6 onwards, that it is surrounded, the peninsular part of the country is surrounded by 3 seas. Now our next question is, what is the peninsular part? Or here we talk is about the India is having a very different you can say that the structure similar to the other countries. India is having a very unique position as well as a strategic position and having a very different structure also, and this is because of its Deccan Peninsula. So what is that Deccan Peninsula? So this one part, this part of our country is known as Deccan Peninsular part. That peninsular, why it is considered as a peninsular? Peninsular is a place particularly which is surrounded by the water bodies from all 3 sides. So this southern part of the country is surrounded by 3 water bodies. So in the west it's Arabian Sea, in the west it's Bay of Bengal, and in the south Indian Ocean. Okay, so the southern part of the country is giving a very prominent position and a very different or the unique structure of to our country India. And because of this Deccan Peninsula, India is enjoying or experiencing the longest coastal line on Indian Ocean. I have marked it with the blue color, that coastal line. Okay, so no country is having such a biggest coastal line on Indian Ocean as India. Okay, India is having the longest coastal line on Indian Ocean because of this Deccan Peninsular part of the country. Fine. Other important thing is again sharing with you that all thing is given you in the text. Okay, when you will go through with your book, that things are given you in the text, paragraph wise you go through it. For the better understanding, I am telling you, explaining you by making this map separately and that flow chart or some particular diagrams or the pictures, so that you will be able to understand properly. Okay, so summarizing that complete chapter through these pictures or the maps. Now again another point also shown to you here, that is the line, dotted line you are seeing here. That dotted line is a Indian Standard Time. What is it? That is the Indian Standard Time. Now the question is that what is the Indian Standard Time and why do we need a Indian Standard Time? So Indian Standard Time is used by India to follow the similar timing, or that topic or the concept of timing, how do we calculate the time, you learn in a class 6 also, right? What that you learn in the class 6, that how the time is calculated. So time is calculated on basis of each particular longitude, or we can say meridian also. लॉन्जिट्यूड भी कहा जाता है, इसे मेरिडियन भी कहा जाता है. सो ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ, और हियर वी स्टडी दैट देयर इज अ टाइम डिफरेंस ऑफ 4 minutes ऑन ईच मेरिडियन और द लॉन्जिट्यूड, यानी हर लॉन्जिट्यूड के बाद 4 minutes का टाइम डिफरेंस आ जाता है. कितने मिनट का टाइम डिफरेंस होता है? दैट इज 4 minutes टाइम डिफरेंस आफ्टर एवरी longitude. So after every longitude there is a time difference of 4 minutes. Okay, so you can understand, suppose this is the centermost Greenwich line, 0 degree, like equator is a 0 degree centermost line. So in case of the longitude there is a 0 degree Greenwich line. So there is suppose 12 o'clock. अगर ग्रीनविच लाइन पे 12 o'clock हुआ है तो जस्ट ये 0 डिग्री है. उसके बाद नेक्स्ट वन इज द 1 डिग्री, दैट ऑन दैट 1 डिग्री मेरिडियन देयर विल बी 12 timing will be 4 minutes ahead. Then on 2 degree longitude there will be time will ahead 8 minutes. Then on the next 3rd degree there will be time difference of again 4 minutes. Okay, you can see 4, 8, 12. So there is a time difference on every latitude, there is a time difference of 4 minutes. Okay, what is the total time difference on each longitude or the meridian? The time difference is 4 minutes. Now when we study is about the time calculation, so it's very difficult to calculate that on individual, but that theory is clear to you, and we count it basically on the basis of the particular 15-degree line. Means it is divided on the 30 degree, 30 degree and 30 degree, and on that basis the earth has been divided into 24 time zones of 1 hour each. Okay, 1 hour each zone, thus covers the 15 degree of longitude. So in this way, the major thing is that you have to learn that there is a time difference of 4 minutes on each latitude. So now when we talk is about the total longitude, you can count that the total longitude between say that Gujarat to Arunachal Pradesh, you can count that the 25 or approx 26 longitudes or the meridians are there. Okay, so that will be multiplied by 4. So you can see that approximately 2 hours time difference is between Gujarat and Arunachal Pradesh. तो दोनों के बीच में कितना टाइम डिफरेंस आ जाएगा? 2 घंटे का. Because after every longitude there is a time difference of 4 minutes. And what are the total longitude is total approx 26. And approximate total we are counting. Total हम ले रहे हैं. So that is 26 multiply 4. So approximately there is a 2 hours time difference, exactly 110, but overall counting and the round of if we are counting, so there is a time difference of 2 hours between Gujarat, westernmost point of Gujarat to the easternmost point of Arunachal Pradesh. So there is a time difference of 2 hours, or we can say that in Gujarat there is a time is 2 hours back timing we will be experiencing here in Gujarat. But you have seen that our watches are showing the same time. Okay, and the complete system, different institutions are working on the same time. How it is possible? So that is through the Indian Standard Time. So it's not possible to calculate the time on the basis of each individual longitude. If we count the different time on the different longitude or the meridian, then every region will be experiencing the different time. So there will be lot of disturbance, disorder and chaos. How the train could be in that condition arrive or departure at the similar time? What would be the departure or the arrival timing of the train could be fixed in that condition? And similarly in the other means of transportation, in case of other working institutions and etc. So we need to follow the similar time. So generally what the countries do, so every countries consider the centermost longitude as a standard time. ओके, तो इंडिया की सेंटर मोस्ट लाइन जो है वो क्या है? 82 डिग्री एंड हाफ मिनट ईस्ट. सो 82 डिग्री एंड हाफ मिनट ईस्ट मेरिडियन इज कंसीडर एज अ स्टैंडर्ड इंडियन स्टैंडर्ड time zone. So whatever the timing will be there, okay, whatever the timing will be there, that timing will be followed by all over the country, east to west, north to south, whole the country will follow the similar timing which will be on that 82 degree and 30 minute east. So that 82 degree and 30 minute east is known the Indian Standard Time. So what is the Indian Standard Time time zone, or what is the Indian Standard IST? So that Indian Standard or the value of the Indian Standard time zone is 82 degree and 30 minute east. And it's clear to you that why we are following or why we are adopting the 82 degree and 30 minute east as is Indian Standard Time. So simply, in short, that to avoid the disorder and chaos in the country, or to maintaining the similar timing all throughout the country, we need to follow a similar time. So we follow this centermost meridian. Timing on that centermost meridian is followed all throughout the country. Is it clear to all of you? So most all the points are shown to you. One more thing I am telling to you here, or shown you here, that all the neighboring countries of the India. Okay, so that neighboring countries, you can see that in the east there is Nepal, Tibet, China. Then the eastern side also again we are counting is about the Bangladesh, Myanmar. In the southern part we are having Sri Lanka, Sri Lanka and Maldives, which are the island countries. Sri Lanka and Maldives are the two basic neighbors of our country India. These are the two island countries. Ireland is clear to you. Landmass area surrounded by water, all four sides. And in the northwest there is a Pakistan and Afghanistan. So these are the neighboring countries of our country India. Is it okay? So clear about? So this map in short is telling you the latitudinal and longitudinal extension of our country India. Okay, so this flow chart is also shown to you. In this flow chart also I have given all these things, and I have shown that the India's neighbor also in the north China, Nepal, Bhutan, in the south Sri Lanka and Maldives, in the east Bangladesh and Myanmar, and in the west Pakistan and Afghanistan. These are the neighbors of our country India. Okay, so that all thing I have discussed to you. Now if I talk about the book, that all thing text wise given to you, and you have learned that the total continent. What are the total continent? Forget. So there are total 7 continent. These 7 continent you learn as what is the biggest one continent? Asia. Asia is the biggest continent. Okay, which continent is the biggest one? Asia. So number 1 Asia, Africa, then Australia, North America, South America, Antarctica. So total 7 continent, and Europe. 7 continent we count here, and shown to you the location on the world map. Okay, that all thing I discuss with you. Total area, latitude and longitudinal extension of the country, etc. So it should learn to you. If you forget, then revise again, student, properly, and be very careful. At least anyhow you should learn the total continent and ocean of our country. It is given you in this map also. Okay, so you trace this map also in your fair copy. Okay, trace this map also along with this chapter, and please take this work seriously and do it in your fair copy. Okay, so this is the total continent of our country, and the graph is also shown to you. And I told you earlier also, when we talk about the area wise, India is having the 7th position of the 7th largest country of the world. Area wise India कौन से place पे आ रहा है? 7th largest country, and population wise it is on the 2nd number. India is having a 2nd position after China on the basis of population. That all I have discussed through the map or the flow chart also with you. And one more important point also I would like to tell you, that is about the India's next one heading is given to you, and the time zone, time, how do we calculate, and what is Indian Standard Time, that is also told to you. That Gujarat to Arunachal Pradesh there is a time lag of the 2 hours. It's also told you. That all thing I have discussed with you or explained to you through the particular map also. Next is that the neighboring countries also, that concept. This is a very short chapter, but it's very important chapter, and these all basic concepts should be very clear and learn to you also. Okay, now is India and the world, or here we are talking is about the very centermost position of our country India and its advantages. So India is of course having a centermost position and having a most of advantages and benefit of it. And before it, I will start it through the India. Earlier, at present time we are having a different modes of transportation, but earlier you learned that India very early period of time that mainly through the land routes. So silk routes were used, and through these silk routes India was having a very great contact with the most of the Asian countries. And many goods items were transported from India to other country and other country to India since the early period of time also. And lately when the sea route was also discovered, so that sea route, through the sea route also India was traveling from one part to another part. So India is having a centermost, you can see there, Asia, and important thing is that India is in the southernmost center point. India is locating in the Asia's सदर्न मोस्ट सेंटर पॉइंट, ना ये ईस्ट में है ना ये वेस्ट में है, एग्जैक्टली एशिया के सदर्न सेंटर पॉइंट में स्टैब्लिश है. सो इट इज हैविंग अ वेरी गुड कनेक्शन विद all throughout the Asian countries, and similarly having a better access to the African and other European countries, and a good friendly relations also, and trade relations also. Okay, one important thing also I would like to tell you here, that earlier what happened, that when India need to, for the trade purpose, and when India transport to other till the Euro, in case of Asia it may have a direct land route also and directly sea route also, but in Africa also near to it. But in case of Europe, when India need to travel to Europe, it was using this route from here to reach Europe. Okay, so it took, or simply you can see the distance, which will take a lot of time. But later on, due to the Suez Canal construction, or after this Suez Canal, it was easier, or Suez Canal anyhow shortened the distance between Europe and India. अब यहाँ से यहाँ इतना घूम के नहीं जाना पड़ा. स्वेज कैनाल बनने के बाद ये डिस्टेंस अप्रॉक्सीमेटली 7,000 कम हो गई. कितनी डिस्टेंस कम हो गई स्वेज कैनाल बनने के बाद? ड्यू टू द स्वेज कैनाल 7,000 किलोमीटर डिस्टेंस रिड्यूस फ्रॉम इंडिया टू यूरोप. अब इंडिया यूरोप सी रूट से अगर जाना है, सो बाय नॉट यूजिंग दिस रूट इट कैन डायरेक्टली रीच फ्रॉम India to Europe by using this Suez Canal or the Suez Canal. Okay, because it reduced the 7,000 kilometer distance. So it's a very important discovery or utility of the Suez Canal. So, and this is because of the centermost location of the country. So India is able to use this water resource also, or uses of the sea. Now, if I talk is about the centermost location of our country, India, you can understand that of course India is the centermost condition, and not at present time. In fact, from the very ancient period of time, when it was continued through the land route also by using the Silk Road, so the different things were also transported. Here in the text is shown to you that the ideas of the Upanishads and the Ramayana, the story of the Panchatattva, and the Indian numerical system, Indian decimal system reached to the many parts of the country, as well as the different type of spices, or the we can say that muslin means fiber, cloth, rough or rough cotton also, through the merchants also, or merchandise also reached from India to other parts of the country. As well as India is having a better trade relation. Through this, India established a better trade relation with other countries. And not only from India to other countries, in fact new ideas were traveled from other countries to India also. For example, the influence of Greek sculptures also, or the architectural style of dome and the minarets from West Asia easily can be seen in the different parts of the India, in the different buildings of our country India. So in this way, ideas or things, objects travel from India to other country and from other countries to India. This is because of the eminent position of our country, India, centermost position of our country, India. Okay. So India is having, of course, the very eminent position, and I have written some of the main points here. You can see that when we talk about centermost position, you can see here. Centermost position, Tropic of Cancer, India lies in the completely in the northern hemisphere, northeastern hemisphere. And Tropic of Cancer cross India just from the center and dividing India into northern and southern India. So India is located in the Asian continent, in the center of the Asian continent. So it is having a very strategic position, very important position. And this position is having many advantages. What the advantages? Number one is that because of this peninsular part of the country, India is having the largest coastal line on Indian Ocean. Secondly, it is a main hub for the world trade. Third is, it is a center point of Asia. You can see Asia के center पे ये lies करता है. It's maintaining a great control on the Silk Road from the past. Next, fifth is that it's important transit point for the sea routes connecting the regions. Through the sea routes, it is connected through the reach or travel easily to the different regions of the world, the countries. Sixth one is that a very good links and trade links or the very good relations with the other countries, as well as it having historical ties also. Historical ties, I told you that ideas of the Upanishads, Ramayanas, stories of the Panchatantras, India's numerical system, decimal system also reached the other parts of country, and some ideas, architecture style of the Asian continent also reached here in India. Okay, so in this way India experiencing a very important or strategic location in the Asia, and it is having the basically these main advantages. Fine. So in this way this all about, and you can see in the map also which is telling you all the particular condition, and you have to remember is about the island group also here. When we talk about the Arabian Sea and Bay of Bengal, in that Arabian Sea and Bay of Bengal we are counting the group of island group. In the Arabian Sea there is a Lakshadweep island group, and in the Bay of Bengal there is a Andaman and Nicobar island groups, and Maldives is also island group, which is the southernmost island neighboring country of India. Fine. Sri Lanka, you can see that there a small line is connecting. This is the Palk Strait, which is you can say dividing or connecting Sri Lanka from India. Okay. So in this way, that is the complete short summary or the main concept, main points of this chapter, and all these points are the basic points of your chapter. It should be learned to you clearly, properly, and you need to do all these in your copy also. Is it clear, student? So again, go through all these short notes. You do these notes in your copy also, learn also. Go through the text, the chapter in your book, and book is not available, then you can use the NCERT book app. There you will have the text also. By using the text or read the text from there, and it will be easier to understand, or the better understanding, very helpful for the better understanding. So then complete that complete chapter, and through the next video, okay, so through the next video I will be with you again to share the question answer of this chapter, and I will post some other important questions also for the practice. Okay, that is enough for today. Then we will be again with the second part of this question answer.